done for our deen, what he has done for the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is amazing. It bothers me that I can't even read the works of Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah in my lifetime. How did Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah have the time, the barakah in his time, to pen all of these beautiful things, to preserve the Quran, to preserve the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Likewise, subhanAllah, Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. These two in particular was known as, al-ulama wal-uzzab. They were two scholars who did not get married. They were two scholars who did not get married. They even sacrificed, their own hukuk for the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Among another was Hujjatul Islam, an amazing, you have Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, the Shaykh or the teacher of Islam. You have Muhyiddin, the reviver of the Islamic sciences, Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah. And subhanAllah, no one has been given this laqab, and no one will be given this laqab or this title anymore perhaps as well. This is a person known as Imam al-Ghazali rahimahullah, who was before Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. And he was known as Hujjatul Islam, the proof of Islam. So subhanAllah, he says something interesting in Ihya Ulumuddin. He says, declare your jihad on 13 enemies. Declare your jihad on 13 enemies you can't see. And this is important. And then he starts listing these 13 enemies. And the first one is pride. Don't think you're better than anyone. It's hard to do that. When I look into the mirror, I say, Allahu Akbar. Right? I think, subhanAllah, nobody is ajmal than me, or ahsan than me. This is a problem. Right? The moment we think we're better than anyone, that's completely satanic. That's demonic. Right? That's Iblis. Because Shaitan said, Ana khayrun min, I'm better than Adam, alayhi salatu wassalam. What's interesting about Shaitan's story as well, or the narration which comes in the Quran, is Shaitan was asked to do sajda to Adam alayhi salatu wassalam. فَسَجَدَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ كُلُّهُمْ أَجْمَعُونَ إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى أَن يَكُونَ مِنَ السَّاجِدِينَ. Allah says, the angels, everyone who was commanded to prostrate to Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, they prostrated, they offered sujood, except for Adam, except for Iblis, al-iyadu billah. Adam, except for Iblis. He said, no, I'm not going to do this. And we say, subhanAllah, look at the amount of pride he has. Well, you know what? We've all been commanded to perform sajda to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 5 times a day. We've all been commanded to perform sajda to Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala. How many times a day? 5 times a day. Right? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu rka'u wasjudu wa'budu rabbakum. Allah says in the Quran al-Kareem, do ruku to your Lord, do sajda to your Lord. We actually praise those who do sajda to Allah. التائبون العابدون الحامدون ساجدون. But is my rest more important than my Rabb? I'm just following Shaitan. So when we speak about Shaitan, don't blame Shaitan, blame yourself. Look into the mirror. Look into the mirror. Right? That's a tangential point. So, Imam Al-Ghazali said, look, declare jihad, which is a beautiful word, by the way. Right? We need to own our narrative. As Muslims, subhanAllah, really, we need to start understanding etymology and how words are used and the context to which words are used. And one thing that we don't do often enough is we don't want to learn no more. We are an ummah who has given up when it comes to learning, right? But we are an ummah of learning. We are an ummah of ta'aleem, of education, of ta'allum, of ilm, right? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Faqihun wahidun, ashaddu ala ash-shaytani min alfi abid." Faqihun wahidun, ashaddu ala ash-shaytani min alfi abid. That a learned person is far severe on shaitan. In other words, this person is, can preserve his or her deen far better and far greater than a person who simply worships Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, and what does jihad mean? Jihad means struggle. Jahada yajhadu in the Arabic language means struggle. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He speaks about jihad multiple times in Quran al-Kareem. And the first time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about the word jihad, He used it in the context of knowledge and ilm and self-development. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and what was He referring to? He was referring to Quran al-Kareem. Quran al-Kareem. فَلَا تُطِعِ الْكَافِرِينَ. Don't obey those who reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't obey those who reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَجَاهِدْهُمْ بِهِ جِهَادًا كَبِيرًا. And engage in jihad. Bihi. The ha is a pronoun. The ha is a dhamir. It's a pronoun. What is that dhamir referring back to? It's referring back to Quran al-Kareem. And engage in discussion and dialogue with those who reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the teachings of Quran al-Kareem, through the beauty of Quran al-Kareem. So subhanAllah, again, we Netflix, truly, Netflix, Crave Television, YouTube, these things are suffocating the growth of our youth, right? And they're suffocating the strength of our community, of the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Right? On average, they say that, the average person in North America watches, whether it's TV or YouTube or movies or Netflix, about 2 hours per day. That's 14 hours per week, or 60 hours per month. You can learn a lot in 60 hours. So again, I don't want to get into these things, but I want to think about what Imam al-Ghazali rahimahullah said. He said, declare your jihad on your ego, or on your pride, on arrogance, selfishness. Right? We live in the century of the self. Me, myself, and I. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about this in Quran al-Kareem. أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَى. Have you not seen the person who's worshiping his or her own selfishness? What's amazing about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allah said, مَنْ كَانَ يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ فَلْيُكْرِمْ ضَيْفَهُ. He says, whoever believes in Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, entertain your guests. Right? We lived in a time, or our grandparents lived in a time, and our parents as well. I've seen it with my own eyes. They lived in a time where there was one person working and 10 people were eating from that one person's salary. And nowadays, subhanAllah, we have 10 people working in a home. Yet no guests come to that home. One person was working, 10 people were eating. 10 people are working, no one is even eating together. About selfishness, me, myself, and I. You know, nowadays, subhanAllah, even there's so much artificiality when guests come over. Right? Takalluf. The Sahaba, aqallu nasi takallufan. Right? But their doors were wide open. Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir falyukrim ضيفه. Entertain your guests. Be hospitable, be generous, be loving, be kind. Right? In another hadith, the Prophet said, Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir falyasil rahima. Or believe in Allah and the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, enjoying relations. Right? A selfish person can't do that. A selfish person can't do that. Right? Oh, this person, I'm not gonna call that person. I'm not gonna offer my salam to that person. I'm not gonna apologize to that person. Why? Because you're worried about yourself. You're self-centric. I'm selfish. Hard to make a call. Right? You know what's amazing about the ayah which speaks about the bare minimum. The bare minimum as far as akhlaq is concerned. In Quran, خُذِ الْعَفْوَ وَأَمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Right? Hold on to forgiveness is a literal translation. Hold on to forgiveness. You know, command that which is good and do that which is good, and ignore the juhala, ignore the ignorant. You know what this verse means? This verse means that say salam to those khud al-af. Say salam to those who don't say salam to you. Make peace with those individuals who you know there's a big elephant in the room. Right? Nobody wants to do that no more. وَأَمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ. Give to those who withhold from you. Give to those who withhold from you. You know, somebody didn't invite you over, right? You can invite them over. Somebody didn't invite you over, you can still invite them over. If you're doing it for Allah, that is. And reconcile with those who don't wish to reconcile with you. Build a bridge, extend a bridge to those people who don't even want to reconcile with you. So egoism, pride, arrogance, selfishness, greed, lust, anger, lying, cheating, backbiting, and slandering, namima. Once you do all these things, then you can fight the Islamophobes. Right? You can fight those who are racist and prejudiced and want to cause harm on Muslims. But before we speak about Islamophobia, which is an important topic, or xenophobia, what's even more important than xenophobia and Islamophobia is the preservation of one's iman. Why did Imam al-Ghazali say all this? He said all this because if we don't preserve our own iman in Islam, there'll be a time where, al-iyadhu billah, these things won't even matter. Right? One of my teachers, Sheikh Ibrahim Madani, mashallah, who I think I've done him and his father and his brothers, they've really changed the orientation of North America as far as Islamic education is concerned. He said we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we thank Him that we have Salatul Jumu'ah. But he asked me a question. He said, Fayaz, do you think 150 years from now, meaning our great-grandchildren, will come to the masjid on Friday as regular as we do? And if you say yes, how do you validate that? And if you say no, how do you validate that as well? If you look at the Polish communities, the Catholic communities, their churches are empty. All their churches are up for sale. They came to North America about 200 years prior to us coming to North America. We purchased a church 5 times as big as this masjid, built exceptionally well, much more beautiful, aesthetically pleasing. A church in Buffalo, New York, 5 times as big as the Southwest Masjid, for $5,000 back in 1994. Just the windows of that church, would cost about $500,000. Anybody who's gone to Buffalo, New York, where we studied, you would know this. What happened? What happened to that community?